The Wellness Hour. An in-depth discussion with today's top physicians and medical leaders. And now, your host, Randy Alvarez.
You're watching The Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, what you need to know if you're considering liposuction. Turns out, according to my first guest, board-certified plastic surgeon, not all doctors are doing it the same way. And so, we welcome Dr. Seare. Dr. Seare, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Randy.
All right. Yeah, very interesting, by the way. I've told you, I've talked to a lot of guys over the last 10 years throughout the U.S. and Canada, and you're really into lipo. And I'm not trying to endorse you here, but it's true. You're passionate about it. Now, before we get into the topic, and you brought a lot of photos, we'll get to those.
Okay.
Who's the typical patient?
Who isn't the typical patient? There are very few people who don't need lipo. It amazes me every day. People who come in, and my staff says, well, what in the heck did they want? Because there's always a little area that bothers somebody, and you may not see that.
Okay.
And our audience might have
So who doesn't it mean that just about everybody tells you that they want lipo?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah. And we do anybody from 18 to 72. That's what I've done in San Diego.
72 years old?
My oldest patient was 99.
So lipo's become more mainstream now. Is it more accepted?
Totally mainstream. I can't tell you a category of people, nationality, age, gender, profession, who hasn't had it, hasn't considered having it.
So all of us secretly want lipo, according to you.
And speaking of secretly, I've taken care of 2 Dancing with the Stars champions.
That's right. You have a celebrity following.
We've taken care of people in Hollywood that you would know and recognize, and these are people who don't like to talk about it, but we can give them back so that they can go to their profession and do what they need to do. And they look fantastic on camera.
And the mommy makeover crowd.
After pregnancy, 1 or 2 kids, mommy's put on a few pounds, and it's not because she's not doing everything she's supposed to. She'll be going to the gym every day. She'll be burning a lot of calories. But again, this lipodystrophy fat keeps growing and growing and growing, almost like a cancer. That once it comes, it'll never get back. Those fat cells are permanently plumped, and they don't like to shrink. And the only way they'll come off is through extreme malnutrition.
Okay. Now, all you do is lipo, by the way, or exclusively? Are you pretty much set up for lipo?
Pretty much lipo. We do things that are ancillary with lipo. We do fat transfers back into the buttocks and the breasts and the face. We do skin excisions like tummy tucks and breast tightening. We do facial fat transfer back into the face with many tucks or not. And so basically everything I deal with is lipo, and it's this wonderful stem cell rich, great stuff.
Well, I told you why, I asked you why do you like lipo. People don't know this, but I have access. I get to hear some of the behind the scenes of what plastic surgeons talk about. And probably, I bet three guys that like lipo, maybe 4 that like lipo. Why do you like lipo? Well, tedious, they say.
It is tedious. It's very physical. I can lose up to 4 pounds during a long procedure. It is just not what people like to do. Plus, it takes me about an hour an area, where most people...
But you like it, but why do you like it?
I get such great results. I love the three-dimensionality. Michelangelo only got to use Carrara marble, and I have a beautiful body every day to sculpt and try to get back to original or better. And so it's really
at it that way. Very interesting.
God's medium.
You mentioned laser and things like that.
Yeah.
People are calling me, Randy, I want to get on your show, talk about laser. You're not a big fan of laser.
It holds so much promise, but it's not there yet. The laser burns.
Okay.
But
isn't it going in and melting the fat? It makes it so easy to suck it out.
Well, great. Easy for the doctor. Do you want lumpy, bumpy, irregular places? Or do you want a sponge where we take it out with little teeny pieces and collapse the sponge and then let it heal? Or would you rather have that sponge fill in with scar tissue? The laser and the vaser create scar tissue, and we don't get the transformational results with these modalities that we get with our microlipo. And what
you want it microlipo? Is that what you call it?
We call it microlipo. We go in with these very small cannulas, and 1 millimeter at a time, about as big as a BB. We take this fat out, and We protect the arteries and the veins and the nerves, much like picking grapes off a vine. You wouldn't come in with a flamethrower and burn the whole vineyard down, pick up the raisins off the ground. You know, the laser and the vaser freeze oil, which causes scar tissue. It damages the vessels, and it burns it. You know, I wouldn't do a plastic closure and come along and burn it after. And by burning on the inside, we're causing more scar tissue.
So you like doing it without that? With a micro cannula.
Absolutely.
But it takes longer the way you do it.
It takes a lot longer.
But you get better results, you say.
It does. And I don't care how long it takes because the patient doesn't pay for it taking longer. I can work as long as I want. My staff always says I am, and I believe I am.
Okay. Now your center, by the way, because you have your own, the surgery's done there on site.
Yes.
You have operating rooms there.
Yes, 2 operating rooms.
And
these we designed specifically for the awake anesthesia. We know exactly what to do to make you feel comfortable during the procedure. Most patients say it's easier than going to the dentist. Let me tell you a story. This lady I told that to, right during the procedure, she said, "This was nothing." And I said, "Well, what are you talking about?" And she said, "Well, this is nothing. I expected something a lot more." And I said, "Well, didn't I tell you it was easier than going to the dentist?" And she said, "I went to the dentist yesterday. Sat there with my mouth open and I was drooling and I couldn't talk and my jaw hurt." She said, "This is way easier than going to the dentist."
Liposuction. You know, we should mention, because I think you said this to me on the phone, that because you're a designer, orthopedic surgeon, you have patents, that you even design the tables to be a little softer.
Yep, the tables are softer. We can position them in different positions. The awake anesthesia.
Let's talk about that, because I keep bypassing that. So aside from the fact that you know, they're awake, I mean, what's the real benefit to the patient?
It's safer.
Okay.
Makes it fun. Makes it fun for me to be able to talk to the patient during the surgery. We get to interact. We get to bond. Every day when I go to work, I have a new best friend.
Really?
I ask them things about, what's the most amazing thing that ever happened to you? One of them said, Aaron Brockovich saved my life.
Interesting.
Another was bombed by the Unabomber.
Okay.
Another said, you know, I went to the Indian casino and I won $10,000. And I gave a third of that to each of my 3 kids to buy a house and a car and college education. Went back 2 weeks later, won $15,000.
Okay.
That was God's way to tell me this one was for me, and here I am.
All right.
And so we get to hear these stories. Plus, I can put that patient in positions that make it easier for me to sculpt accurately and symmetrically, and so we can get these tremendous transformations.
So you call it awake anesthesia.
Yes.
You could move the patient around. Do you think you get better symmetry doing it that way?
Absolutely. And
why? Why? Because
fat is a mobile organ, and it's a 3-dimensional sculpture. You know, Michelangelo didn't carve David just from the front.
Is that a fair comparison, though?
Well, he's a lot better artist in marble than I am, so probably
But are
not.
you really sculpting or just sucking out fat?
No, it's sculpting. We have to sculpt. And in doing that, we need to put patients in positions that would drive an anesthesiologist crazy. They've got a tube down their throat, they've got to be strapped to the table, they've got IVs, and we can just say, here, roll over here. Oh, and get it nice and smooth.
So is it just an IV sedation then? Or
we don't even do that. We have a special cocktail of medicines we give, pills. Partway during the procedure, we give a little IV to get some fluids.
So we have IV, okay.
And this little cocktail, most of the time they don't remember much of what went on, and everything they remember seems to be great. So we have a ball during the surgery.
Does it help you? What about downtime? Does it affect downtime at all?
It is so much better than a general anesthesia. You don't get nauseated after. You don't lose a day. You know, I've had a patient the very next day after one of these around-the-world militaries get on his motorcycle and come and see me.
Okay.
So it is
around-the-world liposuction. That's what you
under
call it. Good.
awake anesthesia, and we're able to do it without general anesthesia and all of the things people have had. Have you had general anesthesia? Did you like it?
Yeah, no, nobody likes it.
Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. It's expensive.
So this isn't gimmicky,
and it's
though.
dangerous.
This isn't just gimmicky to save money on an anesthesiologist.
This is something I've pioneered for the last 20 years, and that's why I'm having so fun at our Carlsbad offices, because, you know, we can do it safely. We can do it cost effectively. We can bring lipo to be affordable for the masses. And that's why I'm busy. That's why we can do military people. They don't have a lot of money.
All right.
Their wives don't have a lot of money. We're staying busy because we can do a great job safely and comfortably, and they're sending their friends.
But the high rollers should go to you because of the better results.
The better result. It's not, and they don't have the downtime of general anesthesia, and they don't have to risk the potential disasters that can happen with general anesthesia.
So it's safer. Okay, let's
much safer.
Let's talk about the different areas of the body you treat. Then we're going to go to the photos.
Yep. There is almost not an area I haven't done. Done the back of a head on a wrestler. And I've had a lady who was teased in grade school because she looked like a chipmunk. We suctioned her cheeks. Typically we'll do under the chin and the neck. In fact, I have a published article on extended anatomical dissection of the chin and neck that I presented 20 years ago.
Okay.
We go on down and we can, on a bodybuilder, I suctioned the tops of his trapezius to make it look better.
Wow.
We typically do the guy's gynecomastia.
That's male breasts.
Male breasts. And, you know,
Man boobs.
Nobody wants man boobs.
Okay.
Doc, get rid of these man boobs. I don't want anything to do with them. What can you do?
But I hear that's a really tough area.
It's
that
an
it can look really funny.
tough area.
That it's, you know, some guys don't even want to touch that. You like it.
You need an artist. You need an artist. You got to spend your time. This is not an area that takes an hour. It's an area that takes several hours sometimes.
Really?
Usually involves a little bit to the side, can involve the axilla and in front, and so we sculpt the area. We see where the fat is. If you just go in and suck a little bit of fat off of here, doesn't do anything. Most liposurgeons remove 20 to 30%. Okay. I'm a 90% guy. If it's there, let's get rid of it. Let's match it to what your fat is in your spared areas, which is your forearm and your arm. If you pinch your forearm on the inside and your arm, that's a general indication of your generalized body fat.
So get it all.
And if this is thin, we match everything else to that. We want this beautiful anatomy that has bones and muscles and definition draped with very thin skin.
Is it more men than women that are coming in, by the way?
I see more men than women in lipo,
really?
And that is just astounding. No one I've ever talked to has that statistic, because here I am in Carlsbad, halfway between Miramar and Pendleton, and we're doing a lot of military.
Tell me about arms. How well do they treat?
Arms treat great. You don't need laser to treat arms. If you can get rid of that fat so it doesn't hang, keep it in the right garment so it stays up, get that sponge to collapse down, we get amazing changes.
It will grab back?
Absolutely. You have to do it so it grabs back. If you leave 50% of the fat, it'll sag. If you leave just that right amount of fat that you need for padding and to look smooth and good, and you get that to wrap up and secure down and stick back, you get these amazing arms.
Do you meet women that are like, you know, that confide in you, you know, they're ashamed of their arms their whole life, or they avoid clothing?
Well, I got to tell you the story. In my residency, we went to the ASPRS meeting, which is plastic surgery meeting in Toronto, and my wife looked around, everybody's tight and big-breasted, and looked at their arms and their ball gowns, and she said, Bill, if you could do something for those arms, you'd make $1 million.
Okay.
And we're doing something for those arms.
Is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. And so you can wear those cocktail dresses. And arms are something we love to do because we get universally good results.
What about a fit people? Are the people getting fitter and fitter? Are they getting heavier and heavier, or both, that are coming in for lipo these days?
You know, we don't do the extreme heavy people unless they've had a lap band procedure or they've had something done, and then we will remove the skin and do fat suction, and that's a whole category of patients we do.
You do those too?
Maybe about 10%, and some of our biggest, most dramatic changes are those guys. You wouldn't want to look like the after. They are thrilled to have this
Would you like to see more
change.
of those people coming in?
Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
lap band crowd?
Absolutely.
They just don't know where to go?
Well, they don't know where to go. They have it done under general anesthesia. A lot of people, their insurance doesn't cover it, so they figure, well, it's going to be $20,000. I can't afford that. We make it real affordable.
Okay, good. Now, arms.
Safe.
Now, I interrupted you, but you were talking about the back of the neck, under the chin, the trapezius, the arms. Where else?
Let's keep going on down. So then you have the sides of the breast. A lot of ladies don't like the sides of the breast. A lot of men with the gynecomastia don't. So we just keep going down, anterior chest.
What about the back, like for women with the bra strap?
Yep, we call it bra strap, and we just keep on going all of those areas right down to the buttocks. So we have the posterior chest, we have the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, and we don't do the buttocks.
Okay.
So the furthest down we sculpt is the top of the buttocks crease. but on some people, their butt looks like it ends in the middle of their back. And by getting that lower back area,
all right,
we can make that buttocks now be defined. Instead of being this great big looking butt, it's a defined buttocks that looks like it's supposed to.
We're going to take a quick break. We come back. You got photos, dramatic
Absolutely.
photos. Saddlebags, we haven't mentioned saddlebags.
Saddlebags are wonderful. We love saddlebags. That's really something we can do for our military folks or for a mommy or somebody who really wants to change their pant size.
What's wrong with diet and exercise? I mean, losing weight the old-fashioned way. Eat less, exercise more, cleaner living, you know. Why lipo?
It doesn't
What's your
work.
response to that?
My patient typically has severe genetic lipodystrophy. This is fat that doesn't follow the rules. If it followed the rules, diet and exercise would get rid of it. We have patients who have spent $1 gazillion on a personal trainer, who literally exercise 4 and 5 hours a day.
And can't get rid of little areas.
Can't get rid of that. It will come off in a famine. It will come off in starvation. And that's when you're younger and you can starve yourself and you say, hey, I can get rid of those love handles. I can get rid of that little paunch. But when you get older, generationally, this fat starts growing. And the genes kick it in to grow. And you got those from your parents. And it was your fat storage. It was your calories. It was your
for
food
genetic
storage.
areas, lipo's great.
For genetic
knees. What about fat knees?
All of my areas are genetic areas. I don't take care of people who don't have this lipodystrophy. Even my best fitness guys who are ripped and have this little thing here can't get rid of it because it's genetic. We can permanently forever go in and remove those bad fat cells.
Are you one of the busiest lipo guys you think in San Diego?
I think I'm doing more lipo than anyone, maybe 2 or 3 people put together.
It's like you're the lipo king. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We come back, your photos, and we're out of time.
Okay.
You're watching the Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. What you need to know about lipo. And before you get that laser lipo, this doctor says, board-certified plastic surgeon, also board-certified orthopedic surgeon, says, you may want to look into it a little deeper. We'll be right back.
My arms just bothered me my whole life. I was actually an obese child, and that was a big problem for me. So I decided, okay, let's do something about it. I just turned 50 just recently, was on a cruise. I was able to wear sundresses. I was able to wear my bathing suit. My self-esteem has increased tremendously. I'm able to wear sleeveless dresses, and I actually can wear clothes that I had maybe 5-10 years ago that I never wanted to wear but have.
So I went in to see Dr. Seare. We did the liposculpture that was in the back area here where the bra is, and also tailored in the waist. Felt really great about myself. I was able to go out and look at people in the eye and just have a lot more fun and flair and confidence because I felt so good about the way I looked.
After I had the procedure done, it was amazing the confidence that I had. I could wear the clothing I wanted to. I could do the things I wanted to. I could go to the beach. And even though I was thin, I never had the confidence to wear the clothing that I wanted to. And it gave me the ability to probably open doors that I didn't think I could and without the procedure and without the confidence. It was a great opportunity for me. And that's what I look at as an opportunity.
I couldn't be happier with the results. I'm eating better, I'm exercising, I can keep up with my son. I go to the beach in a string bikini and I'm happy to show off my body. I have the self-confidence of a model now. The procedure itself was an absolute delight to go through. I was very nervous, but Dr. Seare put me at ease, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
My stomach is very flat now. I used to have lots of stretch marks, now I don't have any, and I went up 2 bra sizes.
A little lipo, a little boost to the face has given me so much confidence in myself, okay? And I went out and got a new wardrobe. My makeup goes on better. People that used to say to me, you look a little tired, I don't get that anymore. It's awesome. I don't get that.
You're watching the Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. What you need to know about liposuction with us. We have probably one of the busiest people in San Diego, maybe even in Southern California. You know, we're here with Dr. Seare. Dr. Seare, welcome to the program.
Thank you,
Board-certified
Randy.
plastic surgeon. You hold 10 patents. I called you earlier a fanatic about lipo, and this is not an endorsement, but you're busy. So you're probably one of the busiest guys in Southern California.
For lipo.
And I have inside scoop. I get to talk to the busy guys, but you love it too.
I love it.
And that's
Love it.
good. So you have a few before and afters.
Yep.
You do it while they're awake.
Absolutely. Can
Which
get
is-
the great results.
I mean, you're using anesthesia.
We are using anesthesia. We use the tumescent anesthesia about everybody uses, but I've fine-tuned that over 20 years. I know exactly how to put it in to keep you numb long enough to do lipo, tummy tucks, breast tightenings, put the fat back into the face and the breast.
You
and
don't throw the
buttocks.
fat away, do you?
Recycle it.
Okay.
This is potent stem cell stuff that can regenerate tissue. You know,
Show the photo, because this is really pretty good here.
well, you
What
know,
are we looking at?
This lady is a 43-year-old housewife who came to me because she just felt like she was tired, and everybody complained if she was getting enough sleep. And her daughter
looks
even
mad.
said,
She looks angry.
She does
Maybe.
look mad and angry. Her daughter came to her and said, "How come you always look mad and angry?" And she had lost facial fat. We have learned that facial fat is so important in facial rejuvenation. It's the single most important thing, not skin tightening,
Okay.
facial fat. So if you lose fat above your eyelids, we don't do an blepharoplasty, we put the fat back into it.
So
We
with her, what'd you do?
refill.
What'd you do? For the sake of time,
Yep.
and I don't mean to rush you here.
We've put fat in the upper eyelids.
Her own fat.
Yep. Special processed with the microlipo, rinsed and everything that we need to do to make
Wow.
it take. And it's a huge change. We have upper face and we have lower face.
She
and
looks
the jaw,
rested. She looks rested.
And she looks like her younger sister.
Yeah,
We
that's
call
right.
that a generational change.
And you have
that's
permission
what
to
we go
use her photo, right?
We do.
Because she was
Absolutely.
mad before. We don't want her mad
Yeah.
if she sees herself on TV.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Beautiful, by the way. Beautiful
Thank you.
work.
Thank
okay,
you.
so you add fat, you call it fat transfer to the face
Yep.
using the lipo. Okay,
Yep.
you brought some other photos here, and we're going to have to kind of rush through these.
You know, this one is to show a typical result we get when we do it around the world. You know, the breasts look a little bigger, we get tremendous changes in the curves, we get weight loss, we get clothes size change, but this was to show that we have some redness after, because that's how we get the tightening. We get a natural redness and irritation and remove that fat. So
on all lipo cases in America, or the way you're doing it? Because that's you're implying
you
it the
have
way
to
you do it.
take about 90% out to really start to see that and get it to stick down. Nobody wants to spend an hour in an area. You know, I'm making less
You spend
per
more time.
hour
Okay.
than any plastic surgeon I know.
Really?
Absolutely. You can't
So you're
do,
aggressive when you get rid of fat.
and I don't care how long it takes. I'm going for the change.
You're 11 pounds sometimes.
Sometimes 11 pounds, but my
pure fat.
average probably up around 8 pounds.
You said you'd have to lose 30 pounds. You told me this on the phone.
Yeah.
About 30 pounds to get to
Yeah.
get to the real 11 pounds of fat that
Well,
you're getting
and
rid of.
even then you wouldn't, because look at these bodybuilders that come in. They want to look chiseled, and they are exactly where they need to be, and this bad boy fat is still there. We want to remove that lipodystrophy fat. And I just saw a niece that I did 23 years ago, married a 17-year-old younger guy. When we first did her suction, she ended up getting a modeling job. And it has totally transformed her life for 23 years.
You know, very interesting. You know, one of the things we talked at the break is that lipo, the little fatty areas keep people from going to Cabo or for going to the beach.
Wearing a bikini.
Okay.
Getting in a negligee, all of the things that people want to do. You know, going to the locker room with the guys because they got man boobs. You know, have the love handles, don't look good. You know, amazing, strong military people and fitness people have the
problem there is-
lipodystrophy fat.
Okay.
Go in,
How soon do
spend
they
a day,
go back
it's
to
gone.
work? Ideal situation. Everything goes right. Going on a Friday.
Yeah. Bigger cases, 4 days.
Okay. What
Smaller
about
cases,
just abs? Abs.
You know, if you just did a single
Ideal
area,
situation.
I've had patients go back to work the next day. You know, I don't recommend real heavy exertional work because we want that to come back down. But this is not a huge put you under the table kind of procedure.
These photos are on your website.
Yep.
Because we didn't get to all of them. I
Yep.
mean, you have these lap band patients that have
Yes.
lost a lot of weight. You've taken care of those, and there's one dramatic photo. What about this one?
Well, this is a lady who was a tap dance teacher, and she came to me and wanted to be rejuvenated. And we have told her that she probably would need a tummy tuck. We ended up taking 11 pounds off of her, and she is just ecstatic. She's designing her own costume. She's changed her choreography. Her torso was boxy and fat, and now it has curves. Curves at the sides and curves at the back, and finally she's in proportion. She even has breasts that look bigger. And also look at this side view. She's got that nice curve from her buttocks up to her back and up to her breast.
She has curves now.
It's all about the curves, and the anatomy is showing. And she is so excited about her Christmas program because she can finally keep up with the younger girls and be what she wants to be.
You know, one of the things you told me, and we're out of time, you said that you come from a family of doctors, grandfather, brothers, et cetera, and that they're healers.
Yes.
You call them healers.
Yes.
I heard that. Do you think you're a healer?
Absolutely.
Doing lipo, really?
Absolutely. This is not a cosmetic procedure. This gives back something that was genetic that grows and is uncontrollable and will occupy the life from, can't have that cupcake, I need to take
so you're healing their self-esteem in a way?
And their whole body, their whole routine. You don't have to spend as much time trying to keep that last little bit off, because just do normal kinds of things when you put this into balance and go live your life. It's wonderful.
Okay.
It's absolutely amazing.
You know, it's good to hear this, by the way, from a board-certified plastic surgeon. Because I think if you didn't have all the credentials, you know, they would think that you're just trying to sell lipo. But you believe it. I mean, you like this.
Best thing I did to myself 15 years ago. Best thing I did to my daughter 3 months ago.
You didn't lipo yourself, did you?
Well, you know, if I was creative enough and invented the right thing, but I had my partners do it. They're board certified.
All right, so it helped you. Yeah. You like it. You're a believer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to thank you for coming to the show. Great stuff.
Randy, thanks so much.
Good job. Good
Pleasure
job.
being here.
You
Thank
do all your consults, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. All right. You've been watching The Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. If you would like to see this interview again, or direct a friend to it, and especially if you're considering lipo, go to our website, wellnesshour.com. Just put in liposuction, put in Dr. Seare. That's S-E-A-R-E. S-E-A-R-E. That's Dr. Seare.
Means in fact, the man of the sea.
The man of the sea. In fact, we'll even misspell it on our search engine within our website so they can find you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks again.
Thanks,
for now, I wish you good health.
Thanks for watching The Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news with your host, Randy Alvarez, the authority on health issues.